Hello everyone, I'm Danish Khan from Economic Times Telecom. Today we have Mr. Nitin Bansal, Managing Director of Ericsson India, and we are going to discuss 5G opportunity for India. So a lot of developments had taken place in the past in terms of telco preparedness and discussions around 5G spectrum, 5G trial. So Nitin, I would like to know more about your views on why does India need 5G now? Why not 2 or 3 years later? If you could just give a sense on that.
Sure. So first of all, thank you, Danish, for having me on this fireside chat. It's always a pleasure to interact and give overviews because 5G is a question which is on the top of mind for everyone. Whether it's the telecom service providers, the government, the regulator, the OEMs, it's on the top of mind, and it's a very relevant discussion to have. So, from why does India need 5G, right? I mean, if you look back in 2020 and the situation we all went through with regards to COVID, one thing that has come out very clearly is that we need a robust connectivity layer, which is the foundation for anything and everything that we intend to do, right? So that's the immediate thing that has definitely come up and shown to the world that there is a need for robust foundation, right? Now, when it comes to 5G, I would put this into two contexts, right? Number one is related to consumer. We have seen a explosive requirement in terms of data growth, right? We were 13.5 gigabyte in 2019, and as per our mobility report, this will go up to 37. Almost threefold increase in the consumption of data that is being projected. Now, there is a need for a more efficient technology to deliver those gigabytes, right? Because this is something which is important for the telecom service providers as well. So one is from a consumer side that with 5G, we will be able to deliver gigabytes at a much lower cost than the existing technologies today, which will help in providing a more reliable connectivity layer for the consumers. In addition, for the consumers, we can also top it up with content, with applications related to augmented and virtual reality. And this will also create a new revenue stream for the telecom service providers and definitely give them an option of how do we increase the output. The second part is to do with opening new revenue streams, right? We have had a lot of discussion that with digitalization, there would be immense opportunities for telecom service providers to provide connectivity layer to the enterprises, to the industries, for education, for healthcare, and so on and so forth. And this will continue. Again, in India, the 5G business potential in India, we expect it to be close to $17 billion by 2030. But like you said in your opening statement as well, this will follow when a reliable 5G network is already in place. So why is there a need for 5G in India? It is both from a consumer and enterprise use cases and applications. Consumer applications are here and now, which is providing a more reliable data stream. And when it comes to the enterprises, there's a lot of work happening which will continue to enable digitalization in the country.
Sure. So while obviously we know about the future needs of consumers and the operators themselves because they want to reduce the price of per gigabyte delivery of gigabyte. But other than that, are there other key factors which are going to drive the immediate need of 5G technology? Seeing the various use cases, you just mentioned how data growth is happening. Are there other factors as well?
Well, the other factor that I mentioned, which is very important, one is reducing the cost of production of gigabyte, which you correctly said. The other is how do we manage the requirements in terms of data traffic for consumers? If we expect a threefold increase in the coming 5 to 6 years, there has to be a possibility to give more efficient connectivity to the consumers. The other thing that we have seen, which is becoming quite relevant globally, and I feel it's also relevant for India, is in terms of fixed wireless access. We know that there is a need for better broadband connectivity at home, and 5G can also enable this revenue stream here and now, which is related to providing good, reliable broadband connectivity to the houses and enterprises using the fixed wireless access technology.
Sure. So whenever we talk to all those telecom operators, be it the CTO of the company or the CEO of the company, they all talk about the need for having good 5G use cases. Other than the data service on their phones, they want more use cases to come up, maybe in the industry 4.0 domain or from other India specific needs, which could be catered or addressed through the 5G technology. Being since you belong to a company or you work with a company which has been enabling 5G globally a lot, and you must have powered a lot of use cases, what sort of needs that India may have when it comes to 5G technology? Are there use cases which you think India would be enabling in the first phase of 5G?
Sure. So, I mean, first of all, I would say that based on whatever we have seen in terms of the global launches, right, we have seen the consumer use cases as the first ones that operators have started to deploy, which is again, related to mobile broadband, but then you can also top it up with augmented and virtual reality. When it comes to the industrial enterprise kind of use cases, we see immense demand in India as well because it's all about digitalization. As you're aware, we started working on this almost about 3 years ago with our Center of Excellence at IIT Delhi. We have been regularly demonstrating the 5G use cases that we believe are relevant for India, together with our telecom service providers in India during the India Mobile Congress, right? So the things that come top of my mind could be related to security and surveillance using drone, package deliveries during drone, and this is something that we demonstrated. The other use cases are in terms of medical, where the report should be available online. Then it's about education. How do you provide better remote education to not only the urban areas but also the semi-urban and rural areas? Then it's about Industry 4.0, right? So there is a lot of work happening on digitalization of the industries. We have partnerships globally where we are evaluating how can we make it more efficient for the industries from a production perspective, from a logistics perspective, from a supply chain perspective. So, all those use cases, I believe, are also relevant for India.
Sure. So, how do you see 5G uptake globally? How has 5G helped those countries which have launched 5G so far in terms of their economy growth or in terms of consumer uptake, use cases you have just talked about? Are there some tangible benefits that those countries are seeing after launching 5G?
Well, the tangible benefits, if you look at it from a consumer point of view, right, we have seen the first mover advantage coming in the countries where operators were the first ones to roll out 5G. Then we have seen a lot of use cases, specifically in Korea and a few other countries related to how do we enhance the experience for the consumers with augmented and virtual reality kind of applications, right? And then again, there are discussions happening and there is a lot of work happening on other monetization possibilities. So what I'm trying to say is that we have to start with what's here and now. There is a need, there is a tangible need from a consumer point of view, and what that is here and now today. It's available, and how do we cater to that? Then we evolve into other areas. As far as the pickup of the 5G services is concerned, whichever countries have rolled out 5G, we have seen that the uptake has been faster than what was expected. And that's also driven by the availability of the device ecosystem. We see that the devices are becoming cheaper. We see that the capabilities in the devices are coming up faster than what we had expected, or in the past, right? We said it's going to take X amount of months or years for devices to be capable, devices to support 5G technology, devices to support specific features like the Ericsson spectrum sharing or carrier aggregation and those kind of things, which and even greater enhance the experience that consumers get. So the uptake has been phenomenal, much more than what we had expected to begin with. And the whole ecosystem we see is falling in place. And we see that going forward, this will be even more widely available.
Sure. We had previously planned to launch 5G in 2020, but due to the pandemic, a lot of things changed. Plans got postponed, and there were some legal issues as well with the Indian telecom operators. Now, do you think that we have missed the bus, or we still can catch up with the rest of the world in terms of the deployment of 5G or reaping the benefits from the new technology?
No, I don't think we have missed the bus. But the time is here and now to start thinking about it and making it possible for the telecom service providers to roll out the services at the earliest. Because there are things that are required as a prerequisite, right? One is availability of the spectrum, whether it's in the mid-band, 3.5 gigahertz, or millimeter wave. So those two have to be made available as early as possible, together with the backhaul spectrum, for example, in the E-band and so on. So I wouldn't say we have missed the bus per se, but I mean, this is the right time for us to seriously start evaluating and making sure that we make it possible for 5G services to be rolled out as soon as possible.
Sure. So Bharti Airtel recently demonstrated 5G services on their commercial 4G network, and Ericsson was the vendor which tied up with Bharti Airtel to demonstrate the capability of their network. How is Ericsson enabling its telecom operator partners in the country? Do you think that they are now fully ready, end-to-end capabilities are there with Indian telecom operators?
So, we have been saying for a few years now that all our radios that we delivered since 2015 are software ready to support 5G in the existing bands. And I'm very, very happy and proud to be partnering with Airtel to show that in India in a live commercial environment, right? So this is one of the key factors that we provide to our telecom service providers. So every radio that we have delivered since 2015 is ready for 5G with a software upgrade. So that's number one. As far as the readiness of the telecom service providers in India is concerned, it's work in progress, right? So one is, are the existing networks ready for 5G? The capabilities are being built. The backhaul is being enhanced. But then again, for 5G, we need the 5G spectrum as well, because what we have existing 4G spectrum can be used to improve the performance of 5G. But for 5G, we also need to have the spectrum band and the mid band and the millimeter wave available, at least 80 to 100 megahertz in the mid band. And then when it comes to the millimeter wave, it is in chunks of 400 or 800 megahertz, right? So that will unlock the real potential of 5G. And that's something that, I know there are a lot of discussions happening. As far as the operator preparedness is concerned, I would say that it's work in progress.
Sure. A lot of push is on Make in India. Yesterday only PLI scheme came up to develop the 5G ecosystem in the country, and Ericsson has local capabilities in terms of supplying equipment to the Indian vendors, and it has already been supplying. With 5G, what sort of work have you done? Do you think that you're fully equipped to address the demand in the country as and when we are ready to launch commercial 5G services? Because it would not just require radios, but a lot of small cells would be required, a lot of other things would be required. So whatever you offer, do you think you would be able to supply through your local factory?
Absolutely, Danish. So, we were the first ones to start manufacturing in India in 1993. And we have been supplying 2G, 3G, then 4G, and now 5G from our factory in Pune. Now, one thing to remember, everything that we have delivered since 2015 is software upgradable to support 5G. Number two, I think we announced in the 2019 India Mobile Congress that we are rolling out 5G radios in the mid-band out of our factory in Pune for export purposes. Now, are we able to meet the demands for India? Absolutely, because the production facility is scalable. We are able to scale up very fast and make sure that all the requirements for the Indian telecom service providers we deliver from our factory in India, and we will continue to do so. So we are prepared, the competence is available, the facilities are available, scalability is there. So absolutely, we are fully committed that 5G radios for India, for our telecom service providers will be supplied out of our factory.
Any last concluding comments, any particular element that you want to highlight when it comes to the 5G readiness of the country or Ericsson's readiness to support the Indian telecom operators? Anything?
Well, I mean, we are fully committed to support the Indian telecom service providers. Absolutely. We have been in India for more than 100 years, and we will continue to do what it takes for 5G to become successful in India. Whether it's terms of technology, we will provide superior technology. We are the biggest vendors when it comes to 5G rollouts globally. What that means is that we have learned a lot from our global deployment experiences. What we will bring to the Indian telecom service providers is the learnings from the global deployments that we have, and make sure that we are able to optimize the deployments in India. The third thing is that, again, being the biggest and the largest suppliers for 5G technology globally, we have also fine-tuned our systems for enhanced performance. So looking at the needs for India, I think it is most important that we are able to deliver efficient technology. What I mean by that is radios which are made specifically for India, looking at the constraints and looking at the requirements in India in terms of size, in terms of weight, in terms of spectral efficiency, and also making sure that we are able to support the technology required. Because in our mobility report also we had said that about 70 to 75% of the traffic in the next 3-4 years will come from 4G, which means that we have to run the technologies together and in a very, very efficient way. So we will continue to evolve, we will continue to innovate, looking at the requirements for India and making sure we are able to deliver the lowest products with the lowest total cost of ownership.
Sure. I think very good insights, Nitin. I think let's hope when we do this interaction in the next edition of 5G Congress, we would be doing it over a 5G connection. Thank you very much, Nitin, and thank you very much for taking out time for this fireside chat. So I think we can safely conclude this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Danesh. Always a pleasure, and look forward to many more interactions. And like you said, making sure that next year we have this over 5G.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you.